Wolf Gang. Top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the morning. We back in this thing. Today, I'm talking about soul ties. So I'm gonna give y'all a few positive soul ties. I'm gonna give y'all a few negative soul ties. And then I'm gonna tell you how to break the negative soul ties. You feel me? Before I do though, hit that like button. Show your boy some love. Right? Hit that like button so we can get this in the algorithm. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. You already know I'm dropping game. I'm dropping game. All right. So let's start with the positive soul ties because soul ties it has a negative connotation, but it could be some positive ones too. So I'm gonna give you the positive ones first. So if you dealing with a person and after spending time with them, you feel energized or you feel inspired after hanging out with them, that's a positive soul tie, right? Because people either gonna give you life or they're gonna drain you, one or the other. So if somebody's giving you life, then that means they have a positive effect on you, and you should probably keep them around, right? The second sign of a positive soul tie is that you have a strong sense of comfort and security when you're with this person, right? You're comfortable, you feel secure. For my women out there, you meet a man and he make you feel secure. He make you feel protected, right? Even for my fellas, you meet a woman and hey, she make you feel comfortable, right? You ain't gotta be somebody you not. You could just be you, be yourself. All right. Another sign, which I just kind of got into, but you able to be yourself without judgment, without having a fear of judgment. A lot of people can't be themselves around a partner because they know that their partner gonna judge them or look at them a certain way. And any relationship like that is bound to fail. It's bound to fail because if you can't be yourself with the person you with, then damn, who can you be yourself with, right? People already put up a front when it comes to the outside world. People already gotta be somebody they not. They can't be themselves fully. A lot of people can't be themselves fully in public. So if you can't be yourself fully in a relationship, when you come home in your safe space, then you gonna have a hard time. You gonna have a hard time. So a positive soul tie is when you can be yourself without them judging, right? And then the last one, a positive soul tie, is just they love you unconditionally, right? It's no conditions. It's not you gotta have six figures. You gotta be 6 feet 6 inches. You know, it's not like you gotta be able to take them out on trips, right? Or for my women, you don't have to have a BBL. You don't have to get that plastic surgery, right? You don't have to be a slave to the man. Even when you get in your feelings, he still loves you. That's unconditional love right there, right? If you got somebody that loves you unconditionally, keep them around because it's too many conditions that people put on others. Too many conditions, too many expectations that's unreasonable, right? And you don't want to have to deal with that. You're going to stress yourself out. So if you got somebody that love you unconditionally, hey, keep that around. Don't mess it up because that's rare. All right, let's get to the negative soul ties, y'all. Let's get to the negative ones. If you're dealing with somebody and after dealing with them, like you feel anxious when you're away from this person, that's not good, right? It's like you feel like you always need to be by this person. That's a negative soul tie. That's attachment, right? You don't want to be attached to anybody or anything for that matter. Okay, so if you feel yourself getting anxious when you're away from them, you got to check that. You got to stop that. Another negative sign is becoming overly dependent on a person for your happiness. If you're dependent on them to make you happy, if you're dependent on external things to make you happy, you're never going to be happy, right? True joy, true happiness comes from the inside, right? It comes from you. It starts and ends with you. You got to make yourself happy, right? Nobody else can. If you're dependent on somebody else to make you happy, for one, you're being unfair to them, because now you're giving them the task of having to make you happy and then make themselves happy as well. You know, that's too much. It should be even. It should be you make yourself happy, they make themselves happy. Y'all come together, y'all happy. That's how it should be, man. That's how it should be. You shouldn't overly depend on somebody for that. Another one is feeling jealous or possessive over a person. You know, we don't own nobody, right? You don't own nobody, all right? Even if you in a marriage, even if you're in a relationship, still, you don't own that person, right? So you shouldn't get to that point where you're feeling possessive. Now, I understand there's going to be times where you get a little jealous over small things, like if you really got feelings for the person, that happens. But if it's a constant thing where you're getting jealous over just the smallest shit, like she said hi to a person, while you speaking to him, you must like him, da da da. If if that's you, bro, stop it. That's not cool. For my women, you see a man just happen to look a direction. Oh, you looking at that girl, huh? You checking around, huh? Go get her number then. You know how y'all women be, right? Again, it shouldn't get to that point, right? It shouldn't get to the point where you tripping off of every little thing. All right. Next, if you are struggling to define your identity without a person, not a good sign. Before you get in a relationship, before you get married, especially before you get married, but before you get in a relationship, you should know who you are, right? You should know who you are. You should know your boundaries. You should know your standards. You should know you, all right? The problem is like people hop in relationships and they look for other people to define them. I don't know who I am, so let me hop in this relationship and maybe, I will have an identity. A lot of people put their identity in being a baby mama. For my women, being a baby mama. Or for my guys, being a baby daddy. Right? Being a side dude. Being a sugar daddy. Putting your identity in the wrong stuff. Identify yourself. Who are you? What do you believe in? What do you stand for? If you don't know that, you don't even need to be thinking about dating. You need to be focused on dating yourself. If you don't know your identity, find your identity first. All right. And then the last one is just if you feeling drained, if after you spend time with a person, they got you feeling drained, right? It's like they take the energy out of you. Everything is energy. Everything, right? So if you feel drained, that means you're around some negative energy. They got negative energy and it's rubbing off on you and it's starting to affect you, right? If they got you feeling drained, it's time to go. I'm going to be real. It's time to go because you're only doing yourself a disservice and it's only going to get worse. It's time to go, all right? So now I'm going to give y'all ways how to break the negative soul ties, okay? 1, practice self-care. Practice self-care. Put you first. Make sure you making time to do the things you love, do your hobbies, your interests, working on your purpose, right? Make sure you taking care of you. Make sure you filling up your cup before you decide to try to fill somebody else's, all right? And chances are, if it's a negative soul tie, then your cup is probably on empty. So that's why you trying to drink from their cup and then they cup on empty. So now y'all both just empty. So please practice self-care. Next, connect with God. Create a bond with God. Jesus Christ, man. I'm telling you. See, when you get that spiritual connection with God, you realize you don't need you don't have to depend on nobody else. He got all you need. He got everything you need, right? He gonna do more for you than any person, any human, right? Then he gonna be there for you more than that person who you got that negative soul tie with. He not gonna let you down. So build a connection with God, because when you got that connection from the source, when you go straight to the source, you won't experience remorse. You feel me? You won't experience remorse. If you go straight to the source, you're going to get everything you need, man. Cut out the middleman. Go straight to the source. Next, forgive yourself and forgive the other person. If you're in a negative soul tie situation, you have to come to grips with, okay, I got myself in this. Now I got to get myself out. Okay, first step, let me forgive myself. Let me stop negative self-talk. Let me stop doubting myself. Let me stop feeling sorry for myself. Let me stop depending on this person, right? Let me forgive myself. And then let me forgive them. Because if you forgive them, that's when you forgive somebody, it's for you, not them, right? So it's going to free you. It's going to free your mind. It's going to free your heart, you know, to be open, to get your blessings, for new opportunities. You don't want to hold a grudge against a person because they'll sleep at night. You will be up, stressed still. For what? So forgive yourself, forgive them, and last but not least, cut off contact for that person. If you got a negative soul tie with somebody, you got to cut contact. You got to. You need to remove the temptation of wanting to stay with them, of wanting to hit them up, you know. If you got them on social media, unfollow or block, whatever works. But you got to remove them from your life so you can move on. If you keep being reminded of that person, you're going to think back to the memories, you're going to get in your head, and you're going to go backwards, and you're going to stay with them. But out of sight, out of mind. Get them out of sight, and you'll be fine. All right? So cut off contact. And I think that's it. So you made it this far. Like, comment, subscribe. Give your boy some feedback. And I want you to type soul ties. Because, hey, it's a lot of them. It's a lot of them, both positive and negative. All right? So till next time, you already know what it is.